you had communicated earlier about how you used the logo for Crossroads, and thanks again for telling me about it. That's a great place.
Of course, thank you. Yeah, Crossroads is like a plant-based restaurant in Los Angeles that I'm a part of, and they loved like the Pushead logo, of course, and we ended up doing
it. Doesn't seem like that kind of place.
No, it is. No, like Tao's actually an old punk rocker. Like the reason I invested in that restaurant is because he approached me at a Bad Brain show.
Oh, really?
And was like, hey, I have this idea. I've like cooked for Steve Wynn for the last few years, cooked for Ellen and Oprah, and I really just want to do my own thing. I want to know if you'll be a part of it. And I was like, you're interrupting me during a Bad Brain show about this, I'm in. Like, this is the best, you know, thing I could ever think of. And then 8 years later, yeah.
Cool, and it seems like it's still doing really good.
It does really, really good.
I get all the emails of all the updates and when they were doing all the stuff during the coronavirus and stuff.
Yeah, we did like meal kits and everything for people. It was really cool. But yeah, it's great because the food is great.
Yeah,
and
it's really good.
Tal Ronan is like a god in the vegan world, you know?
Yeah. And we just walk in there as normal people. We don't go, hey, we know Travis. No, we don't do that.
Never, never. You don't need to.
Yeah, we just, you got to make the reservation. But, go in there and do it. It's great. You know, thanks for telling us about it again.
Of course.
It's cool. And I'm glad you're using the logo with them. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's like with doing like the home goods, you know, I've kind of make fun of the outside world because it's just like, you know, you're married, you have a girlfriend or whatever, and it's just like, let's go shopping for bedding, and you look at what you got there and you're like, seriously? Okay. And so I thought like, let me make something that's more for the kids that are punk rock or metal.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it exists.
Yeah, like all the bleached out, like tie-dyed, like, yeah, that is a tough thing, like when you grow up and to find things that are still cool, and you don't want to be like everyone else, and you don't want to conform to the same sheets, whatever your next door neighbor has, you know? So seeing like the Bear Bricks and like, that's amazing.
Yeah, and so now I'm trying to make some chairs and make some sheets and some pillows and, you know, kind of, you know, corrupt that environment a little bit more so they just don't have the music going in the background and the toys for visuals. Now they can live in it.
I mean, these are great for the studio. What I'd give to have a Pushead, you know, chair at the studio, that's the coolest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tried to make a quick little video with my friends here where we showed like using the psychedelic and the bleach stuff and how, you know, culture's kind of black and white in their thinking. And so colors are kind of corrupting, but people are afraid of the corruptors, so they like keep blinders on. Like I don't want, you know, like a lot of people go like I'm colorblind or stuff like that, but I think it's a little bit more deeper than that.
Yeah.
And so we kind of made the video like the sheets were like, you know, it's in a black and white world, this is the color, and you know, everybody should see the colors.
Yeah.
Because to me, colors is creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, even if we draw in black and white, it's still going to be out there. That's what you see, you know.
Yeah. And I think you've done that great with like all of your artwork. Like I love all of the black and white album covers or the stuff that's just black and white, but then all of the color stuff just hits different.
Well, you know, quite honestly, we didn't have Photoshop and all this stuff, and so when you're doing that kind of stuff, you can only afford so much.
Yeah.
You know, and so when they're going like, well, you want color, that's 4-color process, and it costs this, and you're going like, we got $500.
Let's keep it black and white. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and so when you're doing something like that, hey, I can do it in color. Yeah, we don't have the money for that, but now it's totally different. Now people scan stuff and it's like beautiful. You know, it's like the same thing like music.
It doesn't water it down though when you've done it. You know, like none of your artwork looks watered down because there's these bright colors or whatever else, or the tie-dye or the bleach. It's more fire. It's like pops even more. It's great.
Always thinking, you know, trying to be creative and not trying to go, like say, outside of the box, but just keep it into what's there. And if you just keep on building and stuff. The first time I made toys, people go like, huh? I don't get it. And now, you know, there's like a whole new legion of fans that really dig the toys and they dig the stuff. I mean, this is like, you know, this is a Medicom thing like the Bear Bricks. And I basically work on it because I have a good friend who works there. And like in the Asian market, I mean, we just saw the other day on Instagram, there's a girl on a boat in a bikini posing with this Bear Brick.
Yeah.
I don't even understand that, but that's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
You know, and so the next thing she's going to be doing is listening to your music, you know?
Yeah, we'll take it.
And that's how it starts.
Yeah. It's culture. It just, it goes places you'd never imagine.
Right.
You know?
But when we all started doing this, it wasn't like that. You know, you were like, yeah, stay away from me, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like when you grew up in Fontana, you know, when you were deciding you want to be a punk kid and, you know, everybody else is going, yeah, get away.
No, I know. I think about that often, and I think what's great is like letting outsiders in and letting people who don't necessarily know what it is enjoy it too. That's the greatest thing, because I hated growing up and being into a band or being into whoever, and then once everyone liked it, everyone would, you know, disown it, be like, I don't like it no more, it's popular. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm glad this Pushead Bear Brick is getting popular.
Oh, cool, thanks.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad this band or this artist that's super obscure is getting popular.
Right.
Like, I think that's the coolest thing. I'd rather have like punk rock and skateboarding rule than anything else in the world.
Right.
You know?
That's what I tried to do when I worked
Yeah.
at Thrasher, is because I put skateboarding and punk rock together, and then here it is, and that's what I try to do on a regular basis by working there.
Yeah.
I didn't do it to influence a generation, I just did it because that moment.
Yeah.
That moment was exciting, and I wanted to show people the moment. I wasn't thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
It's the wrong shapes, but you know, we wanted to have it in time to like show it, but the designs are.
Yeah.
So basically we use the same designs that we're using with the sheets and the pillows.
Yeah, this is classic. This is
Cool,
classic
thanks.
Pushead. And this is for like the more conservative.
I think this
You
is
know?
the kind of stuff that could be like a wall hanging, like what you said.
Yeah,
what,
it's
you
like
know,
texture, you
Yeah.
know, like this cool texture.
Or
you
this
put
is the
on.
one they put on the wall, and this is the one that they, you know, curb grind on it.
Yeah. So good.
The truth of the matter is, this was designed the same way that I made pants when I was the vocalist for Septic Death.
Really?
Same exact way, everything was exact same. That's how I did these too. Same exact way, the same process, everything. It's just
is
that
what?
it's like bleaching, dyeing, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get those tones and it comes out, because it's just like, you know, when you did Septic Death, I had like pants and I had, you know, shirts that I would, you know, do all that stuff.
Yeah. I think both are your signature. Like, if you don't see this, for like the people who just like kind of like associate you with skulls, you see the tie-dye and the bleach, and you know it's Pushead. You know, like the SBs.
I think over time that's what I've tried to, you know, put this. I mean, I did this on your record cover. I
Yeah.
put that background into it to give it a dimension.
Yeah.
You just basically look at shadows and then you put colors, and you know that you're going to, especially because I'm known for being a t-shirt artist, you have to make the stuff go on a t-shirt. And when you're doing black t-shirts with color, sometimes you've got to do different variations of white, especially when the white might be an underprint and it goes over it. So then you put like the different tones and color tones in it. You know, like here, you know, this is more, when you look at the colors of this here, this is more like the flesh has been ripped off the skull and this is the stain of the blood that's still on it. That's the more sick definition of it.
I just love hearing you say blood and stain and whatever else. That's what makes me excited.
Okay, we can just do that.
Yeah.
Sick, blood.
Stain, yeah. I just love the evolution of seeing an artist like Pushead go from making these punk rock album covers and skateboards and skateboard graphics for Thrasher to evolving to having his own Bear Brook, having his own chair, having his own sheets, his toys, his figures. It's endless. You know, sky's the limit. You know, to see something that comes from that genre of music and skateboarding just be so wide now and be able to do so much and appeal to so many different people is the coolest thing ever.
But
I
you know,
love
the
that.
best thing about it, it's making him think. You know, because he's, you know, it's just like, whenever I've done something, it's like my mom used to always say, whatever you're doing now, people will be doing 3 years from now. And she never understood what I was doing, but that's what she would say. And so now when I do things, it's almost like I know that when people see it, hey, he did it, I can do it. You know, there's like a whole crew of artists in Indonesia that copy my style. You know, it's like, I don't know anybody in Indonesia. Where did this come from?
Yeah, I literally see it on Instagram. I see tons of artwork that I'm like, oh, sick. Is that Hyperstoic? Is it your Instagram handle?
Nope.
And it's not, but that's like, imitation is like the best form of flattery too.
Right.
Like just knowing they sit around and look at all of your art and they figured it out, or you're gonna inspire like whatever the next illest like cause or graffiti
right.
artist to go and think like this is so cool and special.
And it's great in that modern time because to me personally, I don't take Instagram that seriously, you know,
Yeah.
because to me, it's like, I'd rather give somebody a book that something is in their hand. I'd rather give them a skateboard, something in their hand, instead of like this instant gratification for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Like, I've sent you books and stuff, and you put it in your stories, and the next thing you know, you got 100 kids following me, meaning they're discovering it.
Yeah.
So to some of these kids, it might be their first time. It's like, and you know, it's just like you're giving that, like, I don't know, is it seal of approval, or because you're going, this is cool, and they go, I got to see what else is cool because this guy said it, and I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with that. And thank you very much.
Of course, that's just a symptom of loving, you know, your art for however many years it's been.
Right.
And I feel like when kids do see that, it's like when kids first discovered Blink and it was their first punk band they ever discovered and they didn't know anything about punk rock music.
Right.
And then they go discover the Gorilla Biscuits and they discover the Descendants and Black Flag. I'm okay with that. Like,
Right.
I think that's the most beautiful thing
Me,
ever.
I would be going like, I'm hoping they're discovering Discharge, and you know.
Yeah, like whoever it leads them to, I'm happy.
Yeah. Personally, it's just making something. It's just being creative. I don't really look at it beyond that. It's just like, you want to make something. It's just like, I want to make it. I want to see if it's cool. If people like it, they're going to like it. If they don't, they're not going to. I mean, you know, I've done more than 100 designs for the band Metallica. It's every time I do one, I've dealt with that aspect of the band going, this one is better than the last one. But you just said that about the last one. And so you figure out that's 99 times that they've said, this one is better than the last one. But then over time, because there is a collection of them, then they pick out favorites. You know, with Travis, we have one thing and a logo, but he loves the logo. So, you know, if I do more work for him, that logo's gonna go there. I can't change it.
Yeah, we might always have that logo. No, but I think it's like, you just keep beating yourself. That's the goal. I mean, that's what I do with songs too. It's just, you don't think about it. I'm sure it's the same way when you go into your studio to design something. I go into my studio, I leave with an entire song or a few songs that make an
Right.
album that I didn't go to the studio with.
Right.
And that's the best feeling in the world.
And
you
it's
you
cool
don't
that
know.
you're productive like that, and you're keeping yourself always busy. That's always great.
Yeah.
And it's good that the public is accepting what you're doing majority of the time, I would assume. Because I you know, it's just like me. You can't expect everything to be to the roof, you know.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all, you do it for you, and then if they like it and that's a symptom of it, then
Right.
great.
You know, I mean, you know that because, you know, Blink is probably your most popular band of anything that you've done, and there's
course.
always going to be that one kid that goes like, yep, that song doesn't do it for me, but the rest of them are great.
Yeah, of course.
And you're going, that was my favorite song, you know.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yep.
It's like when I did the Hand of Fear artwork, it was in my head for years, and then finally I said, okay, I've got to do it. I drew the skull down, I did a whole outline, I traced my hand thing, and then I got like, you know, paint, black paint, and I go, here we go. And went like that, put it down, took the paper off, finished it all off, and it was done. And now that design's gone way beyond what I ever would have thought.
Yeah.
Now you can walk into tattoo shops and people have it as flash. I've never been to that tattoo shop. I've never met the tattoo guy. I mean,
Yeah.
you've probably seen it in there.
They might not even know where it comes from
That's
or
right.
where it's inspired by.
And,
Yeah.
or somebody will go like, hey, did you see this store in Europe? It's on there, you know, and it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Because I think in general, I'd rather create than pay attention to what the creation is doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're the same way with your
Now I'm
music.
on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm trying to bail on it, but you just keep on, the gears keep on turning, you keep on thinking. You have that in the back of your mind for all these people who have supported you or have been into it, who like it. You know, it's like the same
Yeah.
thing when you ask for a bunch of t-shirts, and I'm kind of going like, okay, let's just send them a whole bunch of shirts. And I think that when the shirts came, you were like, oh, yeah, I don't know what I want to do with this one. This one's more precious to me, you know.
Yeah,
And it's
some
like,
you
to me, I
don't even
care, they're
wear.
just-
Yeah. You just, you know, keep in the archive.
And it's like that with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like even the way that this was all designed, it might not actually be for someone's bedding. They could do it as a wall hanging behind their collection.
Yeah.
You know, it could be on their floor, you know. Someone said we need to make a throw blanket, you know, so.
Yep.
I don't look at it as conformity or non-conformity. It's just like there's other options that can be done, you know. So it's just like you have a bed sheet, you know, put it up on your wall, put it, you know, and it's just like it could be someone Travis's age, it could be someone Travis's son's age, it could be someone Travis's family's age, you know, or it could be this person in between. I'm not looking at like this is for 18 to 24. No. I mean, nowadays it's weird. Once, like, especially old punk rockers have turned 40, 50 years old, they are looking in a certain way, and they dress a certain way, they act a certain way, and they're looking for something certain. And there's a lot of them out there. There's more punk rock people out there now, and you know, Travis probably has something to do with it, than there was when it started and we were all doing it in the 80s. When punk rock started, that was in the 70s, and it was more of what it was. And when hardcore came, that was more emotional of the youth, where it was a kind of anger, but it was different. And then it just kind of evolved as it went up and down. And then bands like what Travis, you know, is in, put a more pop sound into it, and it just brought in people who would have never touched Discharge, let's say. It's like, no, that's too much for me. You know, and then after they get into Blink-182, the next thing you know, the kid's wearing a Motorhead shirt, and they're going, yeah, Motorhead, and then that opens the door to Discharge. And so I guess that's kind of cool, but, you know, it just depends. Are the current bands doing what the classic bands does? You know, he mentioned the Bad Brains. Is there bands that are being like what the Bad Brains represent to somebody? Is there bands being what Minor Threat represented to somebody? You know, what made us get so amped out and excited?
Yeah.
You know, the difference I think with what Blink-182 is doing is they bring in more girls than the original hardcore did. There was lots of girls in it, but there's a lot more girls here because of the pop elements.
That's what we do.
I mean, it's just, you just keep on doing stuff and you don't know if the public is going to accept it or not. You just really don't. It's made for Travis, it's made for his son, it's made for me, it's made for the girl over here, it's made for the people in Japan, it's made for the people in Germany, whoever wants it, because you don't know. And I'm sure Travis has been in that position, especially when, you know, he took the boat and went over to Europe and he met these kids and he's like, I didn't know that these kind of people were into my band.
Yeah, you never know. I think like the worst thing you could do is think like this is your target audience, because you don't know who any of this stuff appeals to. It could, you know, it is kind of like a Blink show. You'll see like 30-year-old men out there. You'll see like 15-year-old girls. It's for everybody, and like that's what's great is it just transcends to all ages and all types of people.
And you got the kids with the spiked hair or the mohawks, and then you got the kids that with the clean cut and no tattoos, and then you got the ones with tattoos all over the place. It's like a melting pot, and that's great. I mean, it shouldn't stop. There shouldn't be judgment passed. It just should be, here it is, enjoy it. This collection is for everyone.